I'm going to walk us through a quick presentation on sponges. We are calling this Deep Dive Sponges. All right, let's jump in. So the first thing to note is there are three main types of sponge. This is covering the picture. The first is a soft sponge, and this is good for lightly soiled dishes, wiping countertops and appliances, and absorbing spills. This is also the only sponge that is safe to use on nonstick. The second type of sponge is a medium or abrasive sponge, and this is great for scrubbing tougher messes, but it's worth noting that a medium or abrasive sponge can damage and degrade nonstick. So make sure not to use this rough scoury pad on a nonstick. Now, with that said, I will occasionally use one of my dish wand, but be a little gentle and don't scrape too hard. Okay, the last type of sponge is a tough or scouring sponge, and this is often necessary for caked on messes. You can use a tough or scouring sponge with stainless steel, cast iron, wood, or enamel. All right, next slide. Notes, tips, and tricks about sponges. So first thing to note is you always want to squeeze your sponges dry after use, and this will prevent the growth of mildew and mold, which can thrive in dark, moist environments like the inside of a sponge. To check for mildew, sniff the sponge, and if it smells weird, throw it out. Alternatively, if it just smells a little weird, you can disinfect it. We'll get into that next. But in general, if it smells bad, it's filled with mildew or mold and you want to chuck it. Relatedly, you'll want to replace your sponges regularly. Now, some people, like Martha Stewart, say to do this daily, which I think is pretty extreme. Some people would say weekly. I do it more like monthly. Alternatively, you can disinfect and you can replace it less often. And lastly, when a sponge is too far gone to clean dishes, but still has some life left and doesn't smell too bad, you can downgrade it to other cleaning tasks, for example, bathroom cleaning. So to disinfect your sponge, you can use one of three methods. The first is you can soak the sponge in a solution of water and a teaspoon of bleach or a few sprays of antibacterial cleaning fluid. I often do this one. The second thing that you can do is microwave the moist, soapy sponge in a bowl for 1 minute and then let it cool and rinse and squeeze dry. I do this often. You just want to make sure it gets to the point of boiling. You can even combine actually steps 1 and 2. So you can take a bowl of water, put a few spritzes of antibacterial cleaning fluid in it, throw in the sponge, put it in the microwave. It'll bubble up and it'll come out almost good as new. The third option is to run it in the dishwasher. This one's a little controversial. Some people think that this really doesn't disinfect because it both lacks something like bleach that will kill the bacteria and it also doesn't get hot enough, is what some people will say. But a lot of people swear by this. My family does this, and so it's worth a shot. And just note, do not place metallic or synthetic sponges in the microwave. They can catch on fire. So for purchasing recommendations, there's a bunch listed in this doc. They're also going to be linked in the written lesson, which will connect to this video. So I'm not going to go into these. It's basically the same ones that we showed a picture of on the first slide. And lastly, if you want to learn more about sponges, check out some of these links. This will also be linked in the written lesson. So go ahead and click over to the written lesson if you are curious. It'll take you to trylifeschool.com. All right, I think that's it for this presentation. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and have a great day.